Hey, you kids, get off my lawn. Unless you're mowing it, let's see your mobile phone for initiative. Do as I say. What's up, a frowny face? Go out and play. Just like your parents did. Just like your parents did. As if your parents did.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Gen Gamers, the podcast where two longtime gamers bring up a topic and discuss the best nominees from every console generation. Hey, I got the intro right this time. I'm co-host number one, Jed, and my co-host number two, Ashley. How you doing?
Hello.
Today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What is our topic for today?
The fuggliest video game characters.
Fugly. Oh, I've got to use that in the episode title.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're we had a positive episode last time. Today it's a negative episode. We're celebrating when art goes bad. This should be interesting because video game history is littered with some questionable design choices. So let's not waste any time. Let's get started. Second generation. Ashley, what are your nominees for the fugly characters?
I just picked one, and I picked E.T. for the Atari.
You know, that's a reasonable pick.
E.T. is just ugly in general. I'm sorry.
I liked the movie when I was yay high, and but even back then, I always thought E.T. was kind of weird looking.
E.T. looks like a prolapsed colon. I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I did not expect that.
I'm just going to be honest.
No, it's fine. And his character model in the game is not much better.
No.
I don't even know, the game was designed in 5 weeks, so best they could do.
It's like a dried up turd with eyes. I'm sorry. Just being honest.
This episode is going to be fun, I can tell. Send your hate mail, too. No. My pick is from a game that has come up on the show before. It's called A Night on the Town. The game is infamous for being part of the Swedish erotica adult game series that was on Atari. So set aside the fact that it's a fucking terrible game, where the basis is to build a bridge over a moat so that way you can go doggy style on the princess in the castle parapet. Seriously, that's what happens. You get across the bridge, and then all of a sudden you're up in the balcony, and she's bent over, and there you go. The character design is absolutely baffling. Have you ever seen the old Saturday morning cartoon, The Snorks?
Maybe. I don't remember.
It was a spin-off of the Smurfs, where it was like, what if we put the Smurfs underwater? And they all have these kind of like teardrop-shaped heads and these things that come up from the top that kind of look like a drinking straw. And they go straight up, and then they turn 90 degrees and point forward, kind of like a snorkel. That's what the character design of the hero of this game is. He looks like a snork. He's got this thing that comes up on top of his head that kind of points up and kind of comes and curves around. But then his body, he kind of looks like C. Montgomery Burns from The Simpsons. So he's kind of got his arms out, held in a weird way, and he's kind of hunched over, and then he's got this snorkel sticking out of the top of his head. It is... I don't know what they were trying to go for. But it's hideous. Absolutely fucking hideous. But it's also an Atari game. There are limitations. So
That entire game sounds like an experience.
the whole line of Mystique / Swedish erotica games are they're something. They are something. That is the infamous line of games that also has the incredibly terrible Custer's Revenge game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Those people.
It all makes sense.
Yeah. All right, moving on from that. Third generation.
All right. So I picked Karnov, who is a shirtless Soviet era strongman with red genie pants and an interesting mustache. I think it came out for the NES.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of choices were made. They were choices.
If I remember correctly, he kind of looks like a barrel
Yeah.
on legs.
He's very like Dr. Robotnik shaped if Dr. Robotnik had weird abs.
Yeah. It's an odd look.
Yeah. He's very top heavy.
Speaking of top heavy.
Boobs?
Before we started taping, we were talking that there are a couple of categories where we have multiple nominees. This is mine. This is one of them. But they all come from the same game, and that game is a collection of games called Action 52. If you know of the game, you know. If you don't, Action 52 was a game that was developed by a salesman who hired half a dozen college students and gave them 3 months to program 52 very small games. And it shows they are poorly designed in every conceivable way, and art is one of them. And there are so many bad examples of bad art in this game. Haunted Hills, the very, very top-heavy woman that makes Laura Croft look flat-chested. There is the lead character from the game, or the minigame Fuzz Power, where you start off as kind of like a hairball, and every time you get hit, you lose a bit of hair. And by the time you get to him naked, he's got feet that look like skis. His head is just like a tangerine, but he's got a nose that sticks out like someone stuck a corn dog in the tangerine. It's horrible looking. The lead character from the Ooze, he has a head that is flatter than a blacksmith's anvil. But by far the worst art. It's not just ugly, it's illogical. It is a game called Storm Over the Desert. You can see what it was inspired by. You are piloting a tank, and it's kind of a top-down perspective. And so you're piloting a tank, and you're shooting down other enemy tanks implied to be Iraqi from the Gulf War. And every now and then, Saddam Hussein will show up on the field. Except they didn't proportion him to everything else. They proportioned him as if he were a kaiju. So Saddam Hussein is as tall or taller than the tanks are long. So he's walking around the battlefield, and you'll shoot him and he'll explode. And then another Saddam Hussein will show up. So it's just, it's ugly in the fact that they didn't think of scale in this. They just made this Saddam Hussein sprite that is massive in proportion to tanks.
When you say kaiju, were those, I know that's like a broad term for monster, but specifically, were those the monsters in Pacific Rim?
Them, Godzilla, any type of like 100-foot tall monster. Yeah.
Just trying to make sure I wasn't thinking of the wrong thing there.
Yeah, no, you've got it right. Yeah. So imagine a Saddam Hussein that looks like that.
Yeah, that sounds like my nightmare. So
yeah, it's like I said, it is ugly. It is bizarre. And it ruins the perspective too, because you're looking top down at a tank. But then you see Saddam walking left to right, and he's taller than the tank and bigger than the tank, but he's not on the same perspective as the tank, because if you were looking top down on him, all you'd see is his hat, but you don't. You see him from the side. So we've got top down and side view existing on the same plane.
I kind of love that. What if we develop a game where we take all of the most shitty dictators that have ever existed, like Saddam Hussein, and we make them into like these giant monsters, and the whole premise of the game is to just beat their ass? I kind of like I feel like we could run with this idea, to be honest. Throw Mussolini in there, Kim, all of the Kims, Putin. But you got to fight Putin on a horse because he likes to ride horses shirtless. So Putin comes in with like a giant horse, like a Pegasus. I don't know. This could be a thing.
I started thinking of it like a Street Fighter game, and once you mentioned the horse, now I'm more thinking of it like Final Fight, Golden Axe, kind of a side-scrolling brawler. I kind of like that.
Yeah, me too. If anybody wants to help us out with that idea, let us know.
I could see that becoming
right,
unreasonably popular on like they don't do Steam Greenlight anymore. Whatever Steam that they have. Like on the indie side of Steam. I can see that blowing up.
Same. I mean, I'd play it.
Yeah, I would too. Be a nice dorky, a dorky distraction from serious games.
Pegasus Putin isn't real. He can't hurt you. He is real.
I just fought him on my computer last night.
All right. My mind is a dark place, if you can't tell.
Mine is too. Well, wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last. All right, 4th generation.
Okay, so I have 2. Okay. The first one is Mortal Kombat 2 for the SNES, and I picked Melina. Particularly when she doesn't have her mask on. I feel like she's become gradually more terrifying over time, yet they've also increased her sexiness. Like, they've given her bigger boobs. And then I think in like Mortal Kombat 9, I think it was an alternative outfit. It was like that Borat unitard, you know, like the G-string unitard, but like purple.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's like they made her more terrifying. Like her eyes got all creepy and cat-like and yellow. And then her face got scarier. But then they're like bigger boobs, bigger butt, more curves. So settle that in your head, perverts.
Right. Nice and confusing. Like
yes.
Kate Upton's body and a bear trap for a mouth.
Yes. And then my second. Okay, I picked. So technically it's the Sega Mega Drive because it was a Japanese game, but I picked Cats from Zero Wing. And if you don't know who that is, it's All Your Base Are Belong to Us.
Yep.
Because what the fuck is going on there? On every level.
I don't know. I don't even know. I can't even answer that.
I love it. I love everything about it.
Both of those are fantastic choices. I have 2 choices for this one as well. Both of them suffer the same problem. And rather than picking between 2 of them, I just decided to give them both. So one of them is JJ and Jeff for the TurboGrafx 16. And the other is Ghostbusters for the Sega Genesis. Now, don't get me wrong. These are good games. JJ and Jeff is a fun little platformer. It's pretty simple. It's not the best, but it's fun. And Ghostbusters, I absolutely love. I know that there are problems with the game. I have a lot of nostalgia value for it. But for some reason, they decided to make the characters look like the mascots from the Pep Boys auto parts store. So they have these huge fucking heads, like massive cranial planetary orbiting things, and these little itty bitty teeny bodies. So it's like, you know, the sprites for the bodies themselves are like 10 pixels tall, and then the heads are just massive spheres. And it's such an odd artistic choice. Like, I can almost excuse it with JJ and Jeff because the whole thing is fake or not fake, but I mean, they were designed for that game. So they live in the rules of that game, and that's fine. It's still weird and ugly, but it's fine. But Ghostbusters, why did you do that? Why did you do that to Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Dan Aykroyd? And where the fuck is the fourth Ghostbuster? Where's Ernie Hudson?
Oh, Ernie, not to like get all political and feminism, but Bill Murray, as much as I hate to say it, actually ended up being a terrible person and like really kind of creepy. But, you know, we can still appreciate him in that role.
Yep.
Also, can we just talk about it just in general? How cute is Stay Puft? I don't care what anybody says. Stay Puft is so cute. I will die on that hill.
You are the only one.
Adorable.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why they went the route that they did in the requel. I'm not entirely sure what to call Afterlife.
Wait, the all women one?
No.
Oh.
The reboot requel one that they did that had Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon.
I won't watch any like reboots of anything that I think is like a classic. So I've only watched like OG Ghostbusters.
Afterlife is actually worth it.
I do like Paul Rudd. He is a joy of a person.
Afterlife was really sweet. It was very touching.
Fine.
It's
touching?
Yes, it's touching.
I don't. All right. I'm not going to.
It's not okay. You don't go in expecting the same Ghostbusters movie that you got with the OG. You have to go in expecting something completely different. But family is a very big component of the movie, and family connections. So it's a completely different kind of movie, but it is very sweet and very touching. And I did shed a tear or two at the end.
Well, you're a dad, so I expect it. I'm a miserable, lonely bitch. So, you know, hard pass. I'll just go watch whichever one it is with Vigo. That guy was so creepy. Sigourney Weaver? Was it Sigourney? Or I always confuse her and Susan Sarandon. Don't kill me. I think it was Sigourney Weaver, right?
It was Sigourney Weaver.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Next.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm cutting you off. Go ahead.
Fifth generation. I was trying to remember which generation we were on. Fifth generation.
You're three. Excited. I have three. I could not pick. This one was really challenging for me. Like, I could not say no to any one of these characters.
All right.
So I didn't play this game, but I know of the game, and I was busy playing other PlayStation 1 games. But can we talk about how, and I don't know if you know what he looks like, but Hagrid in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone from PS1, it is astonishing. Just do a quick Google search.
I'm going to do
that. I cannot wait to see your reaction because it's so terrible. I don't even know where to begin. If you're listening and you haven't seen it, please just Google it and you'll know what I mean.
The fact that Hagrid Harry Potter PS1 is a search suggestion is
the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. The look on your face. I told you, where do I begin? The shape, it looks like they smushed him in a book and then made him like pointy. I don't know where to begin. It's like awful.
It's like they flattened out the texture of his face but on a piece of paper, but then they folded the piece of paper down the center. Just like you said. It's so odd.
There's a character in SpongeBob, and he's like this big bully that SpongeBob is afraid of. And he looks like pointy from the front, but when you see him from the side, he's like long. It's like he's flattened and pointy. I don't remember his name. I love SpongeBob. I don't care. You know which episode? You look like you know which episode I'm talking about.
I'm trying to recall it. I've seen enough SpongeBob because of my kids.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
So yeah, he kind of looks like that guy. I couldn't leave him out.
I can see why you didn't leave him out. Jesus Christ, this is.
I know it's amazing. Like it's also amazing though. Like I kind of love it. I'm not gonna lie. I love it doesn't make any sense.
And the thing is, it looks like him. You can see the resemblance between the character and the actor. You can make a...
R.I.P. actor who played Hagrid. R.I.P. We mean no disrespect.
Oh, he passed away?
Yeah, I think like last year. Now you feel bad. See, now you feel bad for making that comparison. Haha.
Sorry.
All right. The next character I picked is actually a character I love. This was a game that I played a lot in my childhood. I was probably too young to play it because this game like sat with me. It's really not that bad, but I'm saying this with love because I love Abe, but Abe from Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. He's weird looking, but I love him. He's like also adorable. And I want nothing but the best for Abe. So Abe is I always forget how to say his species. Mudicon?
I don't recall.
Oh.
I only played the game a little bit.
Oh my God. But he works at Rapture Farms and they're taking his alien species and turning them into meat. So he tries to escape and he can chant and like blow up the guys that are after him. I love that game. I was definitely too young to play that game because that game, like really, I was like, wow, this is so fucked up. His species is getting turned into like meat burgers. But I loved the game and I loved him. Really bad at it. I would get shot all the time and murdered by the people that worked at Rapture Farms. But anyway, so adorable and also creepy.
I will give Abe a pass for one reason. I think they intentionally they weren't trying to go cute with him. So
no, but that wasn't a stipulation when we decided this. We just said ugly, and he is ugly. It's intentional, but he is ugly.
Okay, very true.
But loved.
Yeah. And we didn't set any stipulations.
Exactly.
So it is your criteria. So
it's intentional, but he's weird looking, but I love him and want nothing but the best. All right, and then I have one more. I'm so sorry.
No, I've got two for this one as well.
So this character is from the best Zelda of all time. I already established this a couple episodes ago. It's Majora's Mask. If you don't agree, then you can come find me and I will gladly 1v1 you. Like we can throw fisticuffs, okay? But Tingle, what is going on there? First of all, Tingle is like a mid to late 40-year-old man that's wearing a green unitard pretending to be a fairy. There are a lot of things odd there. Like, and why is he bothering Link so much? Like, it's weird. Why are you hanging around a bunch of, like, Skullface? He was hanging around Skullface, I think, at one point. Like, why are you hanging around Skullface as a child? Are you a weird pedo? Are you trying to be a fairy so that you can hang out with kids? Like, you're weird. And you're also annoying. And his voice is annoying. And he would try to, like, attach a balloon to him and float. I hate everything about Tingle. Tingle's ugly and creepy. Get a job. There's jobs in Hyrule. Get a job. What do you do? Like, get a job.
I don't know why the get a job just tickled me.
What is he doing?
I don't know.
He's so weird. I feel like we need to talk about this more. Like, I really want to know his backstory. Where's Chris Hansen when you need him?
Well, now I see Tingle showing up to a small hut with a package of Zima and an extension cord. No, I was just coming to talk. She seemed lonely.
That got really dark really fast.
Yeah, that did. Wow. I watched way too much to Catch a Predator back in the day.
Take a seat. Why don't you take a seat? Have a seat. What are you doing here? Why are you here?
Just came to have pizza. Okay, before we accidentally get ourselves on the Namble list, my two picks, first one is Bubsy from Bubsy 3D. I mean, you could say the whole goddamn world in that game because that game is radiation personified. Like it is. Bubsy was never an appealing character in the first place. He was like, it's like that episode of The Simpsons where they make Poochie. Bubsy was that for video game mascot characters. It was so clearly designed by people who had no earthly concept of what made a mascot cool and just took things that they thought made it cool and combined them. And then the 3D version happened, and any potential charm that he may have had got blown away by some of the blockiest, most angular, ugliest polygons ever. Like, that game is just fucking painful to look at. And my other pick is also a game that started in the 16-bit generation and made the leap to the 3D generation and died there, just like Bubsy. Well, Bubsy should have stayed dead there, I should say. And that would be Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim 3D looked at the two Earthworm Jim games and said, that game is full. Those games are full of charm and great artwork and spirit. And what if we put all that through a Play-Doh fun factory and killed it all? Nothing about Earthworm Jim is good to look at. He no longer has curves to him. He has hard angles, like an octagon. You know, it's just corner. Nothing about him is fun looking. Nothing about him is appealing to look at. It doesn't bring you that sense of whimsy or sarcasm or anything that the originals did. They're just brutal. Just people who did not understand. I mean, it was 3D gaming in the infancy. It was Polygon in the infancy. So there's a learning curve, but that they hadn't even tried to approach the curve yet with those two. You look like you're biting your tongue.
No, I agree. I was just thinking about my next pick.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's go with the next generation, 6th generation.
So I am probably going to make people upset when I say that I don't like the God of War franchise. I think it's a really good game, right? It's just not my kind of game because I don't really like when I'm going into an important interaction and it's like, quick, press square, quick, press triangle. It's like press X to Jason from Heavy Rain. Like I loved Heavy Rain. I played it. I thought it was a beautiful game. Wouldn't play it again because I'm just not a fan of games like that. But God of War 2, and I don't know if it's Clotho or Clotho, but can we just talk? Do you know who that is?
I haven't played God of War 2 in a very long time.
I'm going to have to ask you to Google it again. I'm so sorry because, and if you haven't played and you don't know who this is and you're listening, please just take a second because boobs, but not good boobs. And like, I don't know, like rolls.
Oh yeah, her.
I don't know what it is. I wasn't even going to attempt to identify that other than Fugly.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's supposed to be. I don't. Is it supposed to be a girl?
I believe
it is
so.
Yeah.
It's like
she's a goddess of the past. I'm so sorry, girl. You need to like go to Sephora. Go to Sephora. Get a bra.
She looks like a mountain of mashed potatoes that somehow attained sentience, but also became Jabba the Hutt, but also has boobs.
Like Ursula, also like a little bit of Ursula in there. I don't know. There's just a lot. There's just a lot going on, man. I'd be mad too if I looked like that. So I get it.
Yeah, you definitely picked the uglier of the two for this generation. Mine is.
I have one more. We have one more.
Okay.
I have one from the Dreamcast, and I can't wait because I think you're gonna know this game. Seaman.
Oh Jesus!
What? Like Nightmare Fuel. So I played that game. I own that game. I was like, I have to play it again. And I just remember playing it, and I didn't really know what to expect because I was a child. And then I just see this like little baby tadpole grow up into like a fish with like a human face. It's weird. First of all, what? How bizarre. There's just like a lot going on there, I feel like. It's just very creepy. Like a realistic human face on a fish's body. It's just, I don't know. I had to pick it because what?
It reminds me, have you seen Monty Python's Meaning of Life?
Yeah, it was my favorite one.
Mine too. It reminds me of the opening with where all the pythons are fish and they're swimming around in the aquarium. It's like someone looked at that scene and went, what if we built a game around that? And nothing but that, but
Yeah.
made the fish really condescending.
Just a lot. There's just a lot to digest, I feel like. Like, I feel like there's a deeper meaning to that game that we don't understand, but I'd like to understand it. Maybe.
I'm not sure that the price is worth the work. that game's scary.
So good.
That
It's probably
fish
why
is
I'm
scary.
so fucked up today, is because I played games like that growing up, right? Like that. No wonder. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
My therapist has no chance.
You played what game? No. There's not enough medicine for you.
I gotta discharge you. I can't deal with this. I'm not equipped.
Go to Bellevue. They can help you there. Maybe.
All right, I'm done.
All right. I've only got one for this generation, and like I said, you get the prize in this generation for straight up butt ugly. My pick is dumb ugly, and that is from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the character Mocap. Look him up. Seriously, look him up. Mortal Kombat has got some amazing character design throughout history. Mocap is not one of them. Mocap, they took the guy who fills the coffee machine and put him in a motion capture suit, except for the motion capture suit appears to have light bulbs stuck to it every 2 feet. And that's it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what is attached to him?
I know, right? Because you're used to mocap suits having, like, old ones had like little puffballs or ping pong balls or something as the markers, and then now they just have like crisscross and like sensors or everything. But him, it looks like they stuck incandescent light bulbs on him. And again, Mortal Kombat.
I mean, I almost picked Meat. They have a lot of weird characters, like just weird.
They do.
I don't know.
I considered Meat, but I could excuse Meat. As ugly as it is, I could excuse Meat within the context of the universe. I can't excuse Mocap. I look at him and just go, what the hell is this thing doing here?
I kind of love it. He's like a monkey wrench. Like, is this just like a normal dude with like a weird suit with light bulbs attached? Like, I kind of love that. Like, imagine that dude versus like Sub-Zero.
Right.
Like, I kind of love that.
It kind of reminds me of, as far as his complete misplacement in the game and breaking the atmosphere, did you ever play a game called Fighters Megamix on the Sega Saturn?
No.
So they took characters from Fighting Viper and Virtua Fighter and Virtual Cop and Last Bronx. It was like 4 or 5 different Sega franchises, and they rolled them all into one. Sonic the Fighters, they put those in there for some reason. But one of the hidden characters in the game is the car from Daytona.
What?
Yeah. So you sit up, if the car rears up on the back, on the rear end of it, and you can punch with the front tires and you can kick with the back tires, and it completely breaks the logic of the game. Like, you just look at it and go, well, how am I playing with a car? And that's what I think mocap is. Mocap is this inclusion where you go, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
Isn't there a Stephen King novel about a killer car? Makes sense to me. I don't remember what it's called. Christine. Yeah.
Christine.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Choices were made.
Yes. Choices were very, very much made. Okay. Next generation. 7th generation. What do you got?
I've brought this game up a lot, but it's one of my favorite video games of all time, so I don't care. But also, I kind of don't want to bring it up because we were talking earlier about how bad the new Borderlands movie is, which if you remember from the last episode, I said it was going to be really bad. And you were like, maybe it won't be that bad. And I was like, no, it's going to be ass. Because every time there's a video game that I love, they have to take it and turn it into a movie that makes me want to kill myself. Like, I do not want the BioShock show to come out because I just, you know what? Thank you, Eli Roth. Thank you, Eli Roth.
When last I checked, a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I knew it. I knew it because, first of all, the cast was just weird to me. I was like, choices were made. I've been saying that a lot, but choices were made. And also, I don't know. Like, I don't dislike Eli Roth as an actor, but I haven't loved the movies he's made. I think the last movie I liked that he made was it called Thanksgiving? He just made like a slasher film, I think. Yeah, that one I liked, but I didn't really like Hostel. I mean, to me, how creative are you making a movie that's just about torturing people? I'm sorry, but that's not how I get my rocks off. Not judging if it's how you do, but I'm not really, So I was like, great, Eli Roth making a Borderlands movie when he normally makes like really weird shit. Okay, sure. This is where my dreams go to die. But anyway, I picked a character from the Borderlands franchise, and I picked Ellie because you don't like Borderlands, right?
I've never played it. It's never been a game that looked interesting to me.
That makes me so mad every time you say it, but moving on. So Ellie, I love Ellie as a character, but Ellie is, what's hilarious about it is that she is the daughter of Mad Moxie, who's supposed to be like the beautiful woman in the game. And she's also Scooter's sister. Get you one, catch a ride. You wouldn't get it because you don't play it, so whatever. Loser. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I picked Ellie, and the timing, since the Borderlands movie is such a disaster, I'm going to be mad about that for a long time.
Probably as rightful as you should.
I wish they would stop. Like, there's so many video games that have turned into movies and shows, and they just ruin it, except for Fallout. Fallout was spectacular, but it was also very unique. Like, it was very Fallout, but it also wasn't very Fallout. New characters, their own little spin on it. I liked it. It was great. Did you watch it yet?
I'm gonna watch it this weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
I have open time this weekend.
All right.
I have open time to do a couple of different things.
Love it.
And one of them is give the Fallout show a try.
It is, I'm telling you, it is spectacular. Spectacular.
As for Borderlands, all I will say about that, and I'm talking about the movie, I had to stop reading the IGN review today. You know that scene, I'm going to reference The Simpsons again, and you see it in like GIFs all the time. Stop it, he's already dead.
Yeah.
That's what the review was like. I kept reading it, going, okay, I get it, it's bad. Okay, I get it, it's bad. Okay, I get it. Like,
yeah, I just feel like in the entertainment industry, we take things that are so good and we have to just regurgitate it until it's terrible. We do it with movies. We do it with sequels. We do it with video. Like, just stop. Just let something be good on its own. We don't have to like regurgitate this content and then make people hate it that love it.
Yep.
I'm going to have to talk about this in therapy.
I don't mean to laugh at your message.
I'm just kidding. I'm not actually going to have to talk about this in therapy, but I am annoyed. And I did know it was going to happen. And fuck you, Eli Roth. Fuck you.
As rightful as you should be. I think I went through the same rage. My favorite book of all time is Stephen King's Dark Tower. I have a tattoo from the series, and one of my children is named after one of the characters from it. I mean, that's how much I love it. So when they made a Dark Tower movie and they did what they did to it, moving on. I don't want to raise my blood pressure that much talking about it. So my pick for this generation, I just have the one. Bomberman from Bomberman Act Zero. If you know what Bomberman looks like, from like the mid 80s all the way to the early 2000s, Bomberman is cute. Bomberman is very Japanese in design. He's got a cute white helmet, and he's got a very colorful outfit, and he's small, and he's very chibi-like, and it's very adorable. And we got into the mid 2000s, and all of a sudden everything was grim dark, and everything had to be edgy. And Hudson decided we needed to do an edgy reboot of Bomberman, and proceeded to design him. The best way to describe it is take the designs from Michael Bay's Transformers and think of the designs that may have been rejected because they were too stupid looking. That's Bomberman from Bomberman Act Zero. It is just the most moronic, unbelievably unnecessary redesign of a character that goes in the complete opposite direction. It would be like, it's kind of like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, if you're familiar with that. It's like, let's take a kid's character and turn him into a bloodthirsty psychopath. No. It's bad.
When you mentioned Michael Bay, all I could think about was how much I hate Michael Bay. And if you disagree, I'm so sorry. But then it made me think of the song Pearl Harbor Sucked from Team America. And they're like, and they're singing and they're like, I miss you like Michael Bay missed the point when he made Pearl Harbor. And that's a lot. And I'm like, yeah, Michael Bay sucks. So if you combine something with Michael Bay, it's just, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Not going to be
look him
great.
up. Look him up sometime, and you Bomberman Act Zero, and you'll go, yeah, that's got Michael Bay energy written all over it.
Little dick energy. I said it.
Yeah, yeah, it ain't wrong. It ain't wrong. All right, 8th generation.
I have 2. And the first one I feel so bad for, but Uma, which stands for Ugliest Man Alive from The Witcher 3. Do you know that character?
No, I've not played The Witcher.
Oh my gosh, you have to Google it. I'm going to make you Google both of these people because you'll know.
Okay.
Waiting for it.
3.
UMA, yeah. Also, when I was looking up, because I forgot kind of what Uma looked like, and when I was looking up images to refresh my memory earlier, there was a picture of Uma Thurman from the poster of oh my God, Pulp Fiction. And they combined her face with Uma, the character's face, and I lost it. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It was so funny. And then the second character I'm also going to make you Google, and this one's going to be a lot, is from Dead Rising 3, and it's Darlene Fleischermacher. And so she's one of the, I don't know, did you play Dead Rising 3? It was like not my favorite Dead Rising by any means, but it's a fun game.
No, I've played the first one, and did I play the second one?
I
played part of the second one.
I think 2 is the best, but that's just me.
Okay, yeah.
She's one of the 7 psychopaths that you have to defeat in the game, and they each represent the 7 deadly sins. And you will know why very shortly, but she represented gluttony. And the mission's name is All You Can Eat, which is fucking hilarious. You find her at like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Did you see what she looked like?
I did.
Spectacular. I love that game.
She kind of looks like kind of either like Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
yeah,
or Miss Balbrooker from the Porky's movies.
I'm too young for Porky's.
You're also too intelligent for Porky's.
Oh, really? Isn't that like a cult classic? Don't people love Porky's?
Porky's is a really great movie when you're approximately 13 to 16 and male.
Oh, okay.
Or a same-sex oriented woman. Because it's
why?
boobs. Just
Oh.
shitloads of boobs.
Oh, okay.
Lots and lots of boobs.
Huh.
There is no reason to watch Porky's beyond that because the plot is barely coherent, let alone barely stitched together. It's more like a series of vignettes that then wrap up at the end. But boobs. Yeah. Porky's is there for boobs.
Amazing.
I did have to say one thing about Uma. Looking at him, I got a Venn diagram in my head. Part sloth from the Goonies, part Toxic Avenger, and part child Jason Voorhees from the first Friday the 13th. Like the one that pops up out of the lake. I think he's kind of a blend of those three.
Definitely seen Sloth for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely drew some inspiration from that character.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got two from this generation. One is definitely poorly designed, and the other might be a controversial pick because I don't think she's poorly designed in... I'll get to her. I'll save her for a second. The first one is from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and that would be Chun-Li. The original design, I should say. Not the design that actually made it to market, but the original design when they first showed the trailers at, I think it was E3. I don't know what they did, but they completely messed up. And this isn't just exclusive to her. They messed up a lot of the designs in Marvel Capcom Ultimate. But Chun-Li in particular, something about the facial model did not look like Chun-Li at all. Nothing about her was reminiscent of the Chun-Li that we know. She was oddly overly muscular. Like, think of the worst comic book art, like Rob Liefeld from the 90s. Like, think of Cable and Captain America and all that shit. Like, the muscles are grossly disproportionate and overly built, and it just doesn't look human. It looks like it's just kind of gross looking. You had your kind of like smile cringing.
What if she likes to do steroids? What if she likes to do a little bit of trend, a little bit of test? I'm not going to hate on her for it. Her face was super weird, though, like the eyebrows specifically.
Yeah, there's something... I can't even quite pinpoint what's wrong with it. There's just something not right. My second one, though... Okay, so this is the controversial one. Metal Gear Solid 5... Quiet. Aesthetically, not a bad design. Attractive woman. Bingo, that's it. She's an attractive woman. She's in a bikini and fishnets. Not visually appealing on a purely aesthetic level. Design-wise, fucking preposterous once you actually get into the backstory of the character and you understand why this highly skilled, highly trained sniper assassin is out in the Afghanistan desert in like 103-degree temperature wearing a bikini that barely covers what needs to be covered, and fishnet stockings. And Hideo Kojima's explanation prior to it, he kept saying, oh, when you find out the reason why she's dressed how she's dressed, you're going to regret making a fuss over this. You're going to eat your words. There's a very justified storyline reason for it. The justified storyline reason is that Quiet breathes through her skin like photosynthesis, like she's a fucking tree. And so she has to wear a bikini because if she wears a t-shirt and jeans, she'll suffocate. That to me is, I wanted to put a hot chick in the game wearing almost nothing, and I worked backwards to figure out a justification to do it. not the other way around, because that condition never actually comes into a gameplay reason. It's just, we wanted tits and ass, and this is how we justified it. For that, not an ugly character design, but a tacky and sexist character design.
Yeah. Sex sells. I mean, as a woman, I love being objectified. I mean, I wish it just happened to me 24/7 every day. It's great. I love it. I love this. It's
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Let's just do it all
Absolutely.
the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is, sadly. Patriarchy. Ooh.
And sadly, this is not Kojima's first time around with doing shit like that. He oddly sexualizes characters when they absolutely shouldn't be.
I think we should start doing it to male characters, like the most like manly characters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Put them in like
Absolutely.
floofy little underoos.
Will underoos really sell?
I don't know.
I get-
It depends.
I
I don't know.
just-
People are into weird shit, man. I'm not going to question it.
Fair point.
I'm sure there's a group of people that would love it. Probably.
I think you're hesitating your sentence as you're saying it. You're like,
There's people that's into weirder stuff like tickling.
true. And
There's a documentary for that. If any of you are wondering why I know, it's because it's a documentary. Okay. It's a true crime documentary. That's why I know.
okay, see, I was just thinking it was a documentary, and I was like, okay, yeah, fine, I could see it. Now, true crime documentary. Now
There's a weird underground of like sex trafficking for people that forcefully tickle other people. It's weird.
compulsory tickling.
Dude, people are fucked up. It's a great documentary, though. I think it's on Netflix. What is it called? I'm going to Google it. Sorry, my mechanical keyboard is loud. It's called Tickled. It came out in 2016. Yeah, it's awesome. Competitive endurance tickling is what they called it, but really it was like a porno thing. Yeah, no, it's fucked. It's an awesome documentary, though. So yeah, my point is, this is my roundabout way of saying is I'm sure people would be into like, what did I say? Pantaloons? Whatever word I used. Underoos, pantaloons.
Underoos.
Yeah. You know, like Little Bo Peep style, but like with the most masculine characters. I'm sure there's a large group of people that would love that. Just like there's a large group of people that probably like that Swedish game that you talked about, that weirdo game.
Oh God, yeah.
The audience would probably intersect.
Aliens, please come take me off this world.
I feel like every day I bring this podcast to a darker place, and I apologize for that, but I can't help it. It's just the way I am.
I was thinking of another fetish that, like, I heard about that. I'll bring it up off air. It's too weird.
Damn it! All right.
Yeah. I don't want to traumatize our audience. They'll be like, "What the fuck are we listening to?"
I do have one for current generation. I know you don't, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, I was
To be fair,
say.
I didn't have one last time, so I picked. Oh my god! Now I forgot. Creepy Virginia. Okay, because there's also a regular Virginia from Sons of the Forest, which is a PC survival game that I think the full release just came out earlier this year. It was in not full release for a while, but yeah, you should look up Creepy Virginia, Sons of the Forest. It's real creepy. I love that game. It's so good. If you haven't played it, it's a survival game and you have a helicopter crash on an island and there's like a weird cannibal tribe, but there's also really creepy creatures. And you land with the most useless NPC named Kelvin, who just, like, to be fair, he suffered a TBI in the plane crash, but you're supposed to be able to give him commands like fetch sticks, get logs. And the dude, I tell him to all the time, like, get sticks for me because I'm trying to build and also survive. And instead, he'll just stand in the fire and then die. He'll just stand in my campfire. So anyway, I'm rambling about the useless NPC, but Creepy Virginia is very creepy. There's a lot of weird characters. There's like these blind dudes that just run around and make really creepy sounds, and they run around really fast, but they can hear really well. Oh, so creepy. It's so good. So creepy.
I did think of, while you were talking, I did think of one game. Actually, I thought of two with some really shitty character art for this generation. One, and I can't remember the full name of the game. It is the King Kong game that just came out. King Kong. It's not Skull Island. If you just look up King Kong, like PS5 game, you'll find it. It's just, the game was obviously rushed out. It's just terrible looking, but that's
Island. Yeah, you're right. Skull Island, Rise of Kong.
That's it. Skull Island, Rise of Kong. I knew I had the name kind of messed
Wait,
up.
what?
Yeah.
This looks like Donkey Kong, like on crack. Why does he look like that? Were they trying to be funny?
No, that's supposed to be a genuine damn game.
I love everything about this, and I want to play it. He looks so confused. Like, what is going on? He is not menacing.
No, that is a Donkey Kong 64 ass looking game. Like, but that was made in the year of our Lord 2024.
2023, but that's okay.
Yeah, close enough.
Is 2024 the year of our Lord?
I don't know. That's, people just put that at the end of it. It just sounded like a good poetic flow.
Praise be.
But the other one, the one that I think is even more ugly, was the Lord of the Rings Gollum. That came out last year. What they did to Gollum, like, Gollum's not a handsome character anyway. He's not winning any contests. Viewers, if you can see the look on Ashley's face right now.
Why do his eyes look, they're huge.
Right?
He has butthole eyes.
They're like,
his eye sockets look like buttholes with just big eyes glued to them. What is happening?
I don't know. It's like,
oh, I love it.
It's like halfway through designing him, they went, we need to cutify him, but only a little. Let's take like googly eyes and stick them on there. It's baffling. You look at it.
Oh, they made him cross-eyed too. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, there's a reason why it was universally on a lot of worst of game lists. That and Rise of Kong, both of them were on. And it's not just the art. I mean, they're terrible games as well, but the art on both of them. Who doggy?
Oh, speaking of Lord of the Rings, what was the Lord of the Rings game? Was it the Two Towers for the GameCube? I loved that game. I played that game so hard.
Don't think I ever played it. I played the Middle Earth games.
Oh, so good. Loved that game.
I wish they would use the Nemesis system from the Middle Earth games and something, because that thing was awesome.
Ugh,
I love that. You're just fascinated by this Gollum game now.
I'm reading the Kotaku review right now, and it makes me want to play it. I'm not gonna lie. Who made this game?
Oh God. It was a studio it was not a big studio. It was a small, I'm pretty sure it was a smaller dev group, and they managed to buy the Lord of the Rings license, and they were really ambitious. They had,
I see it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Dalek, something like that. Entertainment.
Yeah, they bit off way more than they could chew with it. Like, they were punching way out of their weight class with what they were trying to do with that game.
I'm so fascinated by his character design. Like, I can't stop. Like, I'm like, what? I am baffled that we're still making video games like this.
Right.
But I kind of love it. I kind of want to play them. I'm not going to buy them, but I kind of want to play them. I'm not going to lie.
Probably be able to find the game at a dollar store by now.
Love it.
Find your nearest Dollar General, and you should be able to. I was going to say have yourself a good time, but have yourself a time.
Times were had.
Events happened.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for this episode. Time for the show-ending plugs and stuff where we can be found. Since you're listening to us, you know where the show can be found, but you can also find us on social media. We have an Instagram account, which I can't remember the handle of.
First Gen Gamers Pod.
Thank you. I'll get that stuck in my brain eventually. firstgengamerspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to write us, we'd love to hear from you. I'm on Blue Sky at Streets of Jed. I'm on Letterboxd. Same thing, I believe. What about you, Ashley? Plug your side.
FThoughtPod on all social media except for Instagram, which is FThat_pod.
There you go. And coming soon to TikTok. Probably by the next episode.
You're so against it. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool if we made videos.
I have admitted the fact that is the way that the wind blows. So I will let it be not said that I do not in fact blow.
And once you download OBS, you can record yourself gaming a little bit, just the screen or whatever. I'll record some clips of me gaming and screaming. I'm just kidding. I don't scream, but we could share some stuff. I don't know. We could just share some comments, questions, concerns about game. I don't know. It could be cool.
Yeah.
Probably not, but whatever. Get with the times, okay? We're in the year of our Lord, allegedly, according to Jed.
It's just something people put at the end of saying a year number.
Blessed be.
I don't know. Apparently. And I will get with the times, but I will not be cool. I'm 47. I'm way too old to be cool anymore.
47 years young.
No, I definitely am 47 years old.
All right, whatever. I give up.
The blood pressure medication on my bathroom counter says definitely not young.
Well, shit happens.
Exactly.
And then you die.
All right. Oh, sure. Make me feel young. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.